Today I wanted to show you how to make English muffins. English muffins, it's said, were invented by Samuel Bath Thomas, a British expat who emigrated to New York City in 1874. He invented what is called the toaster crumpet, a sophisticated alternative to toast. The term English muffin was coined in 1894, and the rest, well, it's history. And it's a little bit complicated, the process, and don't be turned off because the result is definitely worth the work. In this bowl, we're going to proof our yeast, 1 cup of warm water, no hotter than 110 degrees, a ½ teaspoon of dry active yeast, and just stir it around in that warm water until it softens and starts to bubble a little bit. That's called proofing the yeast. And in this bowl, 1 cup of all-purpose flour, a tablespoon of white sesame seeds, a teaspoon of poppy seeds, a teaspoon of caraway seeds, 1½ teaspoons of coarse salt, and 1 3/4 teaspoon of dry active yeast. This mixture will be put on top of the wet mixture. And now to this, add 1 cup of whole wheat flour. Mix that all together. This mixture is called a poolish, also known as a sponge or pre-ferment. Now this one gets 1 1/4 cups of whole wheat flour on top of the proofed yeast. And the yeast has just started to bubble a little bit. Now this poolish method creates impressively craggy interiors. And you know what I mean by craggy, nice, full of holes, airy, light. And this goes right on top. Cover this with plastic wrap, and this will sit out at room temperature overnight. We have our poolish all ready. It's been sitting all night, and we have 3/4 cup of whole milk, which will now be added to this mixture. If you've never made this before, you will be surprised at the consistency, but don't fret. So once you get this kind of mixed up like that, cover with plastic wrap and let rise for 90 minutes. And every 20 minutes or so, just fold the dough over on itself. Now, here's the next step. Sprinkle your work surface with some whole wheat flour. Turn that out onto your board. Now you can pat this if you wish with the flour, or you can quickly roll it out to about 3/4 inch thick. It pats nicely, but if you want it really, really even, you can just lightly roll it too. You should get 12 English muffins out of this one piece. I'm using a 3 1/4 inch biscuit cutter. Cut all the way around, 8 out of the first cut, and roll this again. Now put these on a parchment-lined, cornmeal strewn baking sheet. Cover these lightly again with plastic wrap and let rise for 15 minutes. So here are our risen English muffins, and they are so beautiful. They're very light, very fluffy, and I'm heating up a little bit of safflower oil and just spread the safflower oil, nice tasteless cooking oil, with a brush, and then do 3 or 4 at a time. So just cook 2 to 3 minutes per side until they're a golden brown. Once they're toasted, put them back on the baking sheet and have your oven preheated to 350 degrees, and you'll bake them until they're just cooked through, and that takes about 8 minutes. So here's our English muffins. They look so beautiful. Now you can break them with your fingers, but you know, we've always been taught to kind of break them with the fork. Don't use a knife because you're going to not get as many nooks and crannies as an English muffin deserves by cutting it with a knife. You want that torn look. Look how beautiful that looks inside. So pretty. Now, you can, of course, put a dab of butter right in the middle. A beautiful fried egg. How about a piece of avocado and bacon? and the top. Now that's a delicious breakfast. And the English muffin will sop up all the egg yolk. Enjoy. This is a modern twist on a true classic.